So initially the quiz was scheduled for Friday, but in an effort to allow us to have discussion regarding gun control, we talked about moving the quiz back to today.
What's Wednesday?
The quiz in the court system, if you did activity 4.1, which most of the class actually did not do. No, that would be 4.3, the Facebook activity. If you did both of those, you'll look at this quiz and go, oh yeah, that's easy. But unfortunately, most of you didn't do it. And as we talked about last week, a late work policy has now gone into effect. When you hand in something late for the first week, it's a 1/3 point deduction. After the first week, it's a 2/3 point deduction on late work. So that is at some point going to start slowly closing the door on the opportunity to make up work and actually get credit for it. So what I'd like to do is take the first 5 minutes, the next 5 or so minutes, and just quickly go over the questions that are going to be on the quiz, which we'll take during the last 10 minutes of class today. And the time in between, I want to give people an opportunity to finish up the Facebook project because that one is due today. Yes?
Did you see my submission for it?
Yes, I have not started grading it.
Oh, okay.
I saw that you submitted it. I did not actually look at it.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So I'm going to go through the questions here, and I'll look to you for answers. If nobody wants to answer, then I'll move on to the next question. But I'm going to stop just shy of standing up here and giving you the answers. So the first question is, to whom does the Constitution give the power to create the lower federal courts?
What? Can you repeat it, please?
To whom does the Constitution give the power to create the lower federal courts? Any guesses? Okay. Which court would be asked to review and change a decision made at a trial? Which court would be asked to review and change a decision made at trial? Okay. The next one's a true-false question. Supreme Court justices are appointed to a lifelong term.
No, false.
Supreme Court justices.
True.
That is true. Yes, Supreme Court justices are appointed to lifelong terms. And the last question is, almost all of the cases brought to the Supreme Court are accepted and heard. True or false?
False. This is multiple choice, right?
Almost all is
Yep,
false.
this is multiple choice, and I'm going to draw a diagram of the court system up here. One of the questions on the test is identify the diagram which best describes how the court system is set up. So I'm going to just draw it up here really quick to give you an idea. That stands for the Supreme Court of the United States. So over here we have the state courts, and at the state court level we have district courts, we have appeals courts, and we have state supreme courts. At the federal level, we have federal district courts. We have federal appeals courts. Then we have the federal Supreme Court. All of them, including the state courts, so disputes between states would be heard by the federal Supreme Court. Okay, so here's your basic arrangement, where you have your district, appeals, and supreme, but all of the state courts fall under the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court of the U.S. Okay, does this make sense? Okay.
Sure.
So, class is over at 11:25 today. So at 11:15, we will be taking the quiz. That gives you the next 20 minutes to work on your Supreme Court Facebook project, which again is due today. So if you want to get full credit for it, you'll get that submitted today. And I'd still highly recommend for those of you who have not done activity 4.1 that it's absolutely worth completing. Selena?
When you're done, if you come over here.
We will be having a cumulative exam for the 3 branches of government, which will consist of all the questions that have been on all the quizzes that we've taken on the 3 branches of government so far. So it's going to be a cumulative test. We'll be asking the same questions that you've already seen on the regular exams. So it would still absolutely be worth your while, not just for the points, for activity 4.1, which is getting to know the courts. I think that was the name of it. It's not only worth it for the points, but it is also worthwhile to do as review to prepare for the final exam for this unit, which I think we're going to aim for Monday of next week for the final exam on Unit 2. All right?